If you're feeling under the weather or looking to boost your immunity, look no further than this ginger beet soup. It's delicious, simple to prepare, and it'll get you feeling better in no time. So to get started, peel and chop 2 beets. Notice I've got gloves on my hands. Don't want to end up with pink hands for the rest of the day. I love the beets here. You may already be a fan of roasted beets. That's certainly my go-to way to prepare them at home. But stewing them with just a little bit of water and aromatics is also really delicious. They have that really nice sort of sweet mineral flavor, great body when pureed. Love the beet. It's always nice when you're looking down in your plate or bowl and you see lots of vibrant color. That's a great sign of vitamins, minerals. So the beet will definitely have you covered. Got that done. While we're peeling, let's go ahead and peel 1 large Yukon Gold potato. This is going to add a really nice creamy body to the soup without having to resort to heavy cream. So we're shooting for about 3 cups of chopped beets and about 1 cup of chopped potato. All right. So for the beets and the potatoes, you're aiming for equal sized dice because you want them to cook evenly. So shoot for about 1/2 inch. Doesn't have to be perfect here. This is all gonna get pureed after it's cooked. If you noticed, I always try to keep a flat edge on the board if I'm slicing something that's rounded. That's just good safety when using a knife so that nothing slips around too much. So this soup is really, really delicious, fresh. It also freezes really nicely. So if you make a big batch, you can just set aside a little portion in the freezer and then really, really quickly defrost it. Now for the potato. So we'll transfer this over to a bowl and get cooking. All right, let's get the aromatics going here. Heat a pan over medium-high heat and add about 2 tablespoons of olive oil. To that, I have 1/2 cup of chopped white onion, 2 tablespoons of chopped fresh ginger, and 3 cloves of smashed garlic. All right, let's give it a little pinch of salt. Looks great. We want to make sure that the aromatics are completely softened though before we add the beets and the potatoes, so this will be about 4 or 5 minutes. All right, the aromatics look like they're nice and softened. I'm getting a tiny, tiny bit of golden color, which is nice. That'll build flavor. To that, add the chopped beets and potatoes. Give it a whirl so that it's coated in the oil. Okay. And then add 4 cups of water. All right, I'm gonna add a couple grinds of pepper here. Another good pinch of salt. And we'll let this mixture come up to a simmer. Soup has come up to a boil. Just reduce the heat. We want to cook this at a steady simmer. Cover and check on it in about 25 to 30 minutes. We want the beets to be perfectly tender. All right, so the soup has cooked for about 25 minutes. Just wanted to show you doneness here. I always like to use a paring knife to check and make sure there's no resistance on the vegetables. It passes the test. Let's get it pureed. So when you're dealing with a warm soup, make sure that you only fill your blender about halfway full. Okay, we're gonna start there. Leave a little vent at the top of your blender when you're blending something warm. That way you don't have anything flying back at you. That is such a gorgeous color. I am gonna add just a tiny bit of water to sort of help this puree. All right, so batch 1 done. So I'm just gonna pour this into another bowl while we finish the second batch. Smell is incredible. Gingery, garlicky, super savory. So the last little bits. Gorgeous. Adjust for seasoning and add some more water if we want the texture a little thinner, although I think this texture is just right. Let's see how it tastes. We are in for a treat. Add a little bit more salt and pepper. All right, this looks divine. So for the garnish, I'm making a really simple, quick ginger yogurt, and it is as delicious as it sounds. It's got a nice amount of spice from the fresh ginger, but it's kind of cooling and creamy with the plain yogurt. Really simple to make. Just grate in a 1/4 teaspoon of finely grated fresh ginger. I think this is probably about a 1/4 teaspoon. I like to use a microplane zester for this because you get a really nice fine grate. Ooh, such a pretty color too. We've got all the colors today. Give this a stir. I really love that yogurt can go savory or sweet. All right, done and done. So now for plating, just add a ladle full of soup. Okay, now for the finishing touch, our fresh ginger yogurt. Just gonna kind of do a little dollopy do here. This adds a really, really nice creaminess. It's so delicious. And then this is optional, but I highly recommend it. Adding just a few fresh leaves of thyme. I always seem to have a bunch of thyme in my fridge, so this is a great way to use up the rest. It adds a really nice sort of floral herbaceousness. Can't beat the color. Last but not least, drizzle of olive oil. I'm gonna follow our little round motif and crack of fresh pepper. I mean, doesn't this just look wonderful? Give it a stir. It's really pretty when you stir it. That is so good. Really, really rich, satisfying. Really can't wait for you guys to try this. Leave comments, let me know how it goes. I'd love to hear from you. Want more healthy recipes like this? Don't forget to like and subscribe.